Today's edition is oral health and hygiene. Sunday Jayola. We will be right back in a moment.
Oral has a fascinating and intriguing history with the use and adoption of many techniques. The earliest form of toothbrush is believed to have existed around 3500 BC. This was a type of twig which was chewed until the edges became furled and then used to clean the teeth. In the 1400s, China made significant advances where natural bristles were used for the first time. In Europe, were using water or brandy mixed with salt as cleaning solution and applying to the teeth with rags or sponges to scrub away dirt. These Chinese innovations reached Europe and it involved fodder. However, modern toothbrush can be credited to William Addis, a Briton who had a brainwave while serving time in prison in the 1870s. After creating a prototype behind bars, his invention went into manufacture and became available to the public in England. Toothpaste predates toothbrush and it is estimated to have been first used around 5000 BC. Over several thousand years, toothpaste powder includes a wide range of ingredients such as eggshell, powdered ox hooves, crushed bones, and oyster shells. In Asia, herbs and minerals were added for extra cleansing properties and to improve taste. In the 1800s, powder started to become more advanced with antibacterial properties. Further advancement in the 19th century with toothpaste in the form of cream around the 1850s and much later. The first collapsible tube was introduced in the 1890s, resembling the modern toothpaste found in our homes.
Banditry, kidnapping, communal clashes, and the rest of it.
Guests who joined the conversation urged the minister to ensure the principles of humanitarian intervention are upheld in their enormous tasks ahead of the minister and the ministry.
Without adequate numbers, this is why data is important, and data not just about the social register, it's also about assessing the needs in every state because they may differ. Understanding what the issues are in every state and then getting the people in that state to engage with you and setting up teams, building their capacity to be able to engage with the issues and prevention, as you mentioned, very, very important.
The focus on output will help you to know how far you are going and how you are achieving your goals. And that means that right from the word go, even though you mention them generally, you still need a strategic document that gives you a roadmap. So all these things and how they are moving, because the work is enormous.
The guests are on the same page on the need for working towards long-lasting solutions, especially prevention of man-made disasters occasioned by insecurity and intolerance. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And talking police matters now, Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Dr. Solomon Arase, is soliciting the assistance of United States Department of State in the area of training and capacity building for staff of the Police Service Commission and the Nigeria Police Force. This was when he received the visiting Deputy Assistant Secretary, United States Department of State, Mr. Tobin J. Bradley, and his team in his office in Abuja. A statement by the Commission says Dr. Arase invited his visitors to also assist the Commission strengthen its recently established compliance monitoring unit, a unit dedicated to monitoring the effectiveness and efficiency of the police compliance response unit. He notes that the staff of the Commission also need training exposures in the United States in the form of exchange programs. Meanwhile, Mr. Bradley promised to get his office to key into the requests of the Commission, adding that they are interested in working with the Commission Mr. Bradley said the department is also ready to support police colleges in Nigeria, such as the Police Academy, so that it achieves its objectives. Moving on, the present administration is receiving applause for the new executive order signed by law, which suspended the 5% excise tax in telecommunications service. Among others, experts believe this will relieve the tax burden and grow the economy. Amaka Owo has the report.
Since its emergence, the present administration has been deliberate with what experts consider the right steps to positioning the nation's economy on the right growth trajectory. The Tax Reforms Committee recently inaugurated is another right decision taken as expected to address complexities surrounding multiplicity of revenue collection among other critical aspects of taxation.
We have seen the reverse charge mechanism implemented by FIRS in respect of banks and telecommunication services. So this is to ensure that there's no loss of VAT revenue by direct charging of VAT. And then there is a bill, the National Inspector General of Tax Crimes Commission bill. That bill, if for nothing else, will ensure accountability in the utilization and distribution of tax revenue. With all this, I see light at the end of the tunnel in the Nigerian tax system, Nigerian economy, and the boosting of investors' confidence.
To ensure that we have more people in the tax net rather than putting pressure on few companies that are paying their taxes. We should encourage tax compliance.
The current debt service to revenue ratio is put at 73.5% in 2023. It is a clear indication that borrowing is not an option, as clearly spelled out by the administration.
This is the time we must work on our revenue side. If the revenue is there won't be need for borrowing.
Looking inwards, an expansion of revenue base, such as addressing loopholes in the tax system, remains key to economic recovery and transformation. In Lagos, Amaka O, NT News.
And you're still watching the news at 7 on NT Lagos Channel 10. We now take a breather to pause for some messages. We'll be right back.
TRS Promotions, in collaboration with Rataul Lagos State Council and Lagos State Sports Commission, present.
Which time will you do? You be loser now? You loser. I bet play them loser when your hand is shake like that. Oh, that play for me. Which is this? People say the space, you just enter train, they go like that. This is the Lagos State wide champion in draft of all categories. Is him, I beg, just give me 10 minutes. I go beat him. You know that this thing that you are playing for pleasure can make you a millionaire? What? How? The first international Lagos State dance competition is coming up. Yeah.
The first prize is 3 million naira. The second prize 2 million naira, and the third prize is 1 million naira. To purchase your ticket, go to www.windraftgame.com or directly from all local government areas in Lagos State, Area Ticket, and many other ticket agencies. TRS, join the fun.
Welcome back. Moving on, mixed reactions have continued to trail the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, PEPT, upholding the February 25th election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu of All Progressives Congress, APC, as the President of Nigeria. Our correspondent who spoke to some residents now reports. After the keenly contested presidential election held on February 25th, 2023, and the subsequent announcement of Bola Tinubu of the APC as the democratically elected president of Nigeria, candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the Labour Party, LP, and the Allied People's Movement, APM, filed separate petitions to challenge the results declared by the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC. The case went on for months at the Presidential Election Tribunal and was finally laid to rest on September 6, 2023, with the affirmation of President Bola Tinubu. The judgment has, however, continued to generate reactions from Nigerians.
When you look at that decision, when you look at it critically, you will discover that on most issues, they've arrived at a proper decision, especially concerning the election practices and irregularities. We know as council that it is always very, very difficult to prove that, especially in election matters.
To me, at some point, I feel the judgment seems some little bit maybe biased.
Really disappointed on the tribunal. It's not what we expected that we saw.
Other respondents say in the interest of peace, the petitioners should collaborate and support the new administration in achieving its mandate for Nigeria.
Not even the election, whether you are appealing or not, that even matters now. But the state of the economy, how do we move out of this economic crisis that we are facing? The security crisis that we are facing in this country, how do we move out of it? All of us, we need to sit down, do something about it, find a way to generate more electricity so that industries and factories can begin to spring up and manufacture, so that people can get employed, so that we can produce and export abroad, so that we get more revenue.
They just have to accept their fate, because the best for them is just to work with the present government and see how they could move the country forward.
For the interest of peace, my own mind is that they should give up, because even if they continue, what happened in the tribunal will continue to happen.
Following the judgments delivered by PEPT, President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians of his renewed and energized focus on delivering his vision of a unified, peaceful and prosperous nation. Now to some entertainment news. Nigeria superstar musician Asake dazzles at landmark work of art, New York concert. Mika Mekpe has details of this and more on entertainment tidbits.
Asake delivers mind-blowing performances at the landmark Barclays Center in New York. After donating the mainstream with his unprecedented run in 2022, Asake has continued to enjoy massive commercial success that has culminated in landmark international shows. On September 8, 2023, Asake performed at the 19,000 capacity Barclays Center, New York, in a sold-out show, just weeks after the landmark show at the O2 Arena, where he joined Davido, Wizkid, and Burna Boy as artists who have headlined the 20,000 capacity hall. Asake made it back-to-back sold-out show as a wild audience in New York. Meanwhile, famous Afrobeat musician Davido has left many talking after revealing the amount he charges to perform in a show. Davido disclosed the number of shows he attends in a month and the cost of having him in any show. The singer, in a now trending video on the internet, said he now charges $600,000 per show. Moving on, veteran Nigerian producer and music executive Michael Collins, aka Don Jazzy, has congratulated his signee David Ikubo, better known as Rema, after the remix of his hit song Calm Down with Selena Gomez, before the first African song to hit the billion mark in Spotify history. The Mountain Ball said the feat achieved by Rema wasn't small at all. The original version of Calm Down was recognized by Guinness World Record as the first #1 song on the world's first regional streaming platform. And that's it on entertainment news. I am Mika Mekpe.
And on the foreign scene, Morocco earthquake, UK among 4 countries to send support. Let's join Eunice Iwa for more details.
The death toll in the 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Morocco has risen to more than 2,100. Many of those facilities are said to be in out-of-reach areas south of Marrakech. The UK has sent support to Morocco after a deadly earthquake obliterated parts of the country, leaving more than 2,100 dead. In response to the devastation, the UK government has flown over 60 search and rescue specialists, 4 search dogs, a medical assessment team, and rescue equipment to the North African nation. Several countries offered to help Morocco, including the US and France, but officials assessed the situation and said it would accept international aid from just 4 countries: Britain, Spain, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. The UK specialist search equipment includes self-make listening devices, concrete cutting and breaking equipment, and other tools that can be used to tackle rubble to reach people under the collapsed building. The UK will remain in close contact with the Moroccan authorities over the rescue efforts. And that's all for foreign news. Hi, Malima Salah.
And sports update is next with Suleiman Musa.
Following the 6-0 victory of the Nigerian Super Eagles against Satomi and Principe, some Nigerians have encouraged the Super Eagles to maintain their prolific performance during the qualifier to conquer Africa again in Ivory Coast next year at the African Cup of Nations.
What I took out of that win is a moral boosting performance that this is going to give to the Super Eagles going through the World Cup qualifiers that are starting in November. Of course, you will know that the Super Eagles will open our World Cup qualifying campaign against Lesotho, and we can't afford to drop any point. And this is a big signal. We're going to send a message to all the Super Eagles opponents in the qualifying round for the World Cup.
Nigeria had already qualified for the tournament before their final group match with Satomi and top Group A with 15 points. In another development, Nigeria weightlifter Ruth Ayodele won 3 medals in the women's 64-kilogram category at the just concluded International Weightlifting Federation Championship in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Sunday. Ayodele won 2 silver, 1 bronze medals lifting 100 kg in the snatch event, 122 kg in the clean and jerk, as well as 222 kg in all the events. Another weightlifter, Rafiatul Lawal, finished in 6th position, lifting 100 kg in the snatch event, 125 kg in the clean and jerk, as well as 225 kg in the total. While Adijat Olarinoye placed 15th position with a lift of 95 kg in the snatch event, 120 kg in the clean and jerk, as well as 215 kg in total. And finally, to tennis, Novak Djokovic won a record equaling 24th Grand Slam single title by outlasting Daniil Medvedev in a punishing US Open final in New York. The 36-year-old Serb won 6-3, 7-6, 6-3, a comfortable opening set followed by a brutal second which lasted 1 hour 44 minutes. Djokovic showed all the hallmarks of his greatness to win the 4th US Open title. He now surpassed Rafael Nadal's record tally of 22 men's major titles. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And sadly, the doyen of accounting, Pa Akintola Williams, has died at the age of 104. Pa Williams died in his sleep in the early hours of today, Monday, September 11, 2023. Akintola was the country's first indigenous chartered accountant who pioneered Nigeria's accounting profession. Born in 1919, he was instrumental in developing the country's financial sector. The renowned accountant studied accounting at the University of London and qualified as a chartered accountant in 1947. He returned to Nigeria and later set up his accounting firm, Akintola Williams & Co., now Deloitte, in 1952. Williams was also a strong advocate for developing the accounting profession in Nigeria. He was a founding member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and was president from 1963 to 1965. He was also a member of the National Board of Accountants and Editors. Williams received many awards and honors, including the Order of the Federal Republic, OFR, and the Nigerian National Order of Merit. He was also a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. May his gentle soul rest in peace. And this is where we call it a wrap on the English version of the news at 7 on Nta Lagos Channel 10. Jester Moses is standing by for the news in Obi language. I am Ese Owomaka. Good evening.
Me kudo to ido me kudo wejai me kudo aisisi me kwapo to energy son NTA Jesuton Moses Wenlino. Oh Toboga Bola Ahmed Tinubu Bodo oh me yo Toboga oh to United Arab Emirates Mohammed bin Zayed Al Halian to the egbe we ko bayo pli boko wa fifonu to dindo ye ko degbe na to modo o nu he yogbe ma so 18 to shensen na otogbo Nigeria to bodo otogbo lopo he ko ye ko to dindo o beta zonlin na do isonrin na o meyu otogbo Nigeria to le do yo otogbo lo me won yo de he ye donu boji kasakun to fodro to po otogbo gan Bola Ahmed Tinubu to he wa yi bodo otogbo gan lopo to o to ye to me the United Arab Emirates to o gbèrèdè lọ́mẹ tó di ìwé ẹ̀kọ́ yóò èdè ẹ̀kọ́ lọ wá òtàdúrà dọ̀ tó àròpọ̀lọ́ ná àgàhún látọ̀nà bẹ́ẹ̀ òtòmẹ́nu lẹ́sìn òtògbó Nàìjíríà tó sóyè òtògbó lọ́mẹ̀tọ́ nísẹ́ òun hẹ́ sọ gọ́lẹ́gọ̀jẹ́ ti kásakùn tó níyàníyàmẹ̀ táyìdé ẹ̀kọ́ dúà lọ òwe lẹ́mẹ̀ látòdìkẹ́ ọmọdọ̀ onínàmẹ́ ọmọ àpẹ sọtì ìbò wá yìí tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ náà tó gbọ́ àwòrẹ́lẹ̀ tó hó ìdọ́lọ́mẹ tó ti wà ẹ́sẹ̀ tó yá kan tó pàjọ ó tọ́ dé ìlànìkẹ́ bọ̀ àkwẹ́ ẹ̀yìn àkwẹ́ lìvà ṣoṣo lẹ̀ tọ̀rẹ́ òde ẹ̀bẹ́ tó pọ̀ kan tó pọ́lọ́mẹ ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀tọ̀gbọ́n Nàìjíríà tọ̀mẹ wọ́n yóò dé kóso tó yá dọ̀ yìí kó wá ọ̀tà ọ̀nà ẹ̀tọ́ dọ̀ àjọ nínú wa tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ náà tó àwòrán rẹ̀ lọ sódò tì gbọdọ̀ tó nù kan sí dò gbọdọ̀ nìsínsìn pọ̀ natodike bomono o ninome heyo wakwe tin na o togmenule to fide pe hete azofwe hero penu kun ninome dagbe o tomenule to bodo o haho le poto to gboro me to tin we ko wore awu to do ire mo do azofwe lo heyo te bizo fwe lo si azo ho wore hun do le nu holule pete tito to bo Nigeria to me na to dike mo do nu heyo nyawure azofwe lo to we de ha lo bo tego do ni yani yame ohoro we yu o me yu de bizo ato na azofwe lo ene o boyo to be ta edu do to titore he wa yi to telebe so we meto to be to fide do hote edo hia do holu ramu do we podo yeze ogberide le chegbonu era gado alogra to me le to go do ira ba yo to gba pona to de he bi odo na to mo do ye mo no kunu hese jenu lo le me na to mo do afori de to wera he o ko de to wa ta de he ye to tinero ene we do hia do to ho na to we de he na wa so to po he o to me le to lewu lawule pugbe na to di kere mo do ye o nu wa lo wa yi bodo o ko de to po o polo si a nukun penukun nugo sowe e o to gbo Nigeria to ere azo fe do penukun oporo yi bodo ni no me oporo le to go poto to gbo me we ko do to dino da to mo do oporo le so wa zo bo yo azo gaji do ko do po polo nu na oporo le si o mi wa dali we na ko pe do po he azo fe de he yo to gbo America to na to di ke mo do ye pro nu to Nigeria to le si o bono le ga to fue tome to ruhe me yo nu koto de to aso fue so yo voto me ene to bin Barclay yo de wa pa ojo no o me yin aziporo na aso gba fue no pe nu ko me pro le to go to ruhe to odo to technology o me yin o nu koto no ene Solomon Arase do ya da ho me to na hu na do wa so he o yo voto lo na do mo no azo fue to yo voto me to so go alona na do dike mo lo poro le to gbo Nigeria to me mo so bisin do go to azo ye to wa le me e ha for na lo to ja ka je so to ku no si yin ka me be ku to do